Why are we interested in costs? Well, the blinding obvious, maybe, but there's more to it than that. This slide illustrates why a lot of us go a bit paranoid about let's get the costs up front, right? So as part of design, I mentioned today, that we've got to tell the designer we're only prepared to spend $3 a year operating and maintaining this thing. Make it happen. People often describe the life cycle of an asset, a chair. Someone has this, and that's what this top few boxes are about. We have the non-asset solution. Remember that? We talked about that today. Some idea. The stakeholder has some idea. Have this great concept. Yeah, I want to do something or other. Well, that's cool. Someone needs to specify what that requirement is, acquire the capability to deliver it, operate, maintain that capability, improve that capability, and at some point, well, we're going to go for another one. Right? That's a dispose stuff. Very, very traditional. What's often called an asset life cycle. The word life cycle doesn't mean much other than that's just what it's called. But if you looked at the actual costs incurred in those various stages of that life cycle, so this is actual cost versus time, I guess. Yes, versus time. So the area under the curve is total cost. And once you realise that you know, when people tend to like you know, the issue of the and I was telling you about how much that was going to cost to operate and maintain, and this is why. 2/3 to 4/5 of the total life cycle cost is an operate and maintain phase. 4/5 of the total cost is the operate and maintain phase. So if the acquisition cost was $1 billion, you're going to spend $4 billion operating and maintaining it for the next 30 years. So where do you put your effort? Into the 1 billion or the 4? The 4. When do you do that? During the acquisition process. There's no point doing it afterwards, because this won't be down here, it'll be up here somewhere. That's what the problem was. Yeah? They didn't put the effort up front, and they were totally dismayed to find out how much this was going to cost. It's up here. There's not an awful lot you can do about it after that. And the only solution was, we can only afford to operate 2. That's what happens. We bought 6, we could only run 2. If you ask defence, it's because we don't have enough crew. And that is true, but that's by design. Well, if you've only got $3.50 and you need 10, what can $3.50 buy? Two submarines at once, okay? That's what we can afford. And that's where it all started. Yeah. So there's been a steep learning curve for the defence, those sorts of things. But for a commercial organisation, Qantas can't be caught out like that. They'd go broke overnight. Right? So when you buy your 737 from Boeing, Boeing will tell you how much it'll cost based on your estimated usage, and then if it's more costly than that, you can go back to Boeing and say, it's costing more. Why? And I want some relief from that, please, because you promised me it'll only cost $3.50. Now it's costing $3.62. What is going on? So Boeing has to sort that stuff out quite reasonably well. The other thing you should be aware of, that 50% of all maintenance tasks are directly related to safety. When you do all the analysis we did on the chair, that particular task of checking the weld, if we didn't do that well, the chair was going to fail, and someone would potentially, a certain percentage of times it'll fail, that someone will die. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. So if you know this is the case, 50% of all your maintenance tasks are directly related to safety, and someone wants you to cut your budget, you'd better know which tasks are safety critical for you. Yes?